Hello everyone! My talk is about assessment in the affective domain. How it is done? Assessment in the affective domain is a part of a system that was published in 1965 for identifying, understanding, and addressing how people learn. This describes learning objectives that emphasize a feeling too, an emotion, or a degree of acceptance or rejection. It is far more difficult domain to objectively analyze and assess, since affective objectives vary from simple attention to selected phenomena to complex but internally consistent qualities of character and conscience. Nevertheless, much of the educative process needs to deal with assessment and measurement of students' abilities in this domain. For instance, it is often heard that certain people are schooled but not educated. This simply refers to the fact that much of the processes in education today are aimed at developing the cognitive aspects of development, and very little or no time is spent on the development of the affective domain. We have here the taxonomy in the affective domain. This contains a large number of objectives in the literature, expresses as interests, attitudes, appreciation, values, and emotional tests or biases. The descriptions of steps in the taxonomy was called from Kratwohl's Taxonomy of Affective Domain. First, the receiving. Receiving refers to being aware of or sensitive to the existence of certain ideas, material, or phenomena, and being willing to tolerate them. Examples: differentiate, accept, listen, or respond to. Second is responding. This refers to the commitment in some small measures to the ideas, materials, or phenomena involved by actively responding to them. Examples of verbs used: comply with, follow, commend, volunteer, spend leisure time in, and acclaim. Third is valuing. This refers to the willingness to be perceived by others as valuing certain ideas, materials, or phenomena. Examples of verbs are increase measured proficiency in, willingness, subsidize, support, and debate. Fourth is the organization. Organization is to relate the value to those already held and bring into a harmonious and internally consistent philosophy. Examples: discuss, theorize, formulate, balance, examine. F. Characterization. Characterization by value or value set is to act consistently in accordance with the values he or she has internalized. We can use revise, require, rated high in the value, avoid, resist, manage, or resolve. We have here a matrix showing the level, the definition of this level, and example. Receiving, being aware of or attending to something in the environment. Example: individual would read a book passage about civil rights. Responding, showing some new behaviors as a result of experience. Example: individual would answer questions about the book, read another book by the same author, another book about civil rights. Valuing, defined as showing some definite involvement or commitment. Example: the individual might demonstrate this by voluntarily attending a lecture on civil rights. Organization, is integrating a new value into one's general set of values, giving it some ranking among one's general priorities. Example, the individual might arrange a civil rights rally. Then the characterization of value. This is acting consistently with the new value. Example, the individual is firmly committed to the value, perhaps becoming a civil rights leader. Affective learning competencies. These are often stated in the form of instructional objectives. First, instructional objectives are specific, measurable, short-term, observable student behavior. Objectives are the foundation upon which you can build lessons and assessment that you can prove met your overall course or lesson goals. Think of objectives as tools used to make sure you reach your goals. They are arrows you shoot towards your target. That is your goal. The purpose of objectives is to ensure that learning is focused clearly enough that both students and teachers know what is going on, and so learning can be objectively measured. Learning in the affective domain is assessed and measured in schools, but not used as grade of students in this domain. The behavioral objectives focus on observable behaviors, which can then be easily translated in quantitative terms, like receiving, accept, attend, develop, recognize, or responding, complete, comply, cooperate, discuss, examine, obey, or respond. Valuing, accept, defend, devote, pursue, or seek. Organization, codify, discriminate, display, order, organize, systematize, weight, and characterization, that is, internalize or verify. Focal concept. Attitudes are defined as a mental predisposition to act that is expressed by evaluating a particular entity with some degree of favor or disfavor. Individuals generally have attitudes that focus on objects, people, or institutions. Attitudes are also attached to mental categories. Mental orientations towards concepts are generally referred to as values. These are the components of attitude. Cognitions, the beliefs, the theories, the expectations, cause and effect, beliefs, perceptions relative to the focal point, statement of beliefs and expectations which vary from one individual to the next. Second is affect. Refers to feelings with respect to the focal object, fear, liking, anger. Color blue refers to loneliness. Others refers as calm or peace. Third, behavioral intentions. This is our goals, our aspirations, our expected responses to the attitude object. Evaluation. This is the central component of attitudes. Imputations of some degree of goodness or badness to an attitude object, positive or negative attitude towards an object, functions of cognitive, affect, and behavioral intentions of the object stored in memory. Why study attitude? Attitudes influence the way persons act and think in the social communities we belong. They can function as frameworks and reference for forming conclusions and interpreting or acting for or against an individual, a concept or an idea. It influences behavior. People will behave in ways consistent with their attitudes. The focal concept. Motivation is a reason or set of reasons for engaging in a particular behavior. The reasons include basic needs, object, goals, state of being, ideal that is desirable. Motivation also refers to initiation, direction, intensity, and persistence of human behavior. These are the theories that explain human motivation. The need theory is one of these theories. According to Abraham Maslow, hierarchy of human needs, theory is the most widely discussed theory of motivation. And this can be summarized. Human needs have wants and desires which influence behavior. Only unsatisfied needs can influence behavior, but satisfied needs cannot. Needs are arranged in order of importance, from basic to complex. That is psychological, safety and security, social, self-esteem, self-actualization. The person advances to the next level of needs only after the lower need is at least minimally satisfied. The farther the progress up the hierarchy, the more individuality, humanness, and psychological health a person will show. Herberts present another need theory, the two-factor theory. That is the motivation hygiene theory. It concludes that certain factors in the workplace result in job satisfaction, while others do not. But if absent lead to dissatisfaction, Herberts distinguishes between motivators and hygiene factors. Motivators are the challenging work, recognition, responsibility, which give positive satisfaction, while hygiene factors, that is the status, the job security, the salary, the friends benefits, these do not motivate if present, but if absent, will result in demotivation. Like hygiene, the presence of it will make one healthier, but absence causes health deterioration. Clayton Aldifer expanded Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He formulated the urge theory, ERG's theory: existence, relatedness, and groups. The existence category, this is physiological and safety. These are lower order needs, followed by relatedness category, the love and self-esteem as middle order needs, and the graph category, self-actualization and self-esteem as higher order needs. Motivation in education have several effects on how students learn and their behavior towards subject matter. It can direct behavior towards particular goals. This will also lead to increased efforts and energy, increased initiation of and persistence in activities, enhanced cognitive processing, determine what consequences are reinforcing, lead to improved performance. There are two kinds of motivation. The intrinsic motivation brings pleasure or makes people feel what they are learning is morally significant. And the second is the extrinsic motivation, which comes when a student compelled to do something because of factors external to him. Self-efficacy. Self-efficacy is an impression that one is capable of performing in a certain manner or attaining certain goals. It is a belief that one has the capabilities to execute the courses of actions required to manage prospective situation. It is also a belief, whether or not accurate, that one has the power to produce that effect. Self-efficacy relates to person's perception of their ability to reach a goal. Research shows that over-efficaciousness negatively affected students' motivation, while under-efficaciousness increased motivation to study. Thank you for viewing. Subscribe.